Give me a D and a G. It's the Dawg Gus Show. It's the Dawg Gus Show.
Welcome to the Dawg Gus Show.
Now on Be Kind Radio.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's fun. What's going on, Dog? What do we got going on? I got you. Good. Perfect. I got you choking already.
Got me choking 2 seconds into the show. Thanks so much for that. We're going to have a nice chat with Mr. Dylan Black today.
Legendary Ottawa radio guy.
Yeah.
I love this.
We've been trying to get this together for a while, and we're very happy to have him right here with us now.
How are you doing, Dylan?
Is that my cue to say hello? Is that
there it is,
okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But thank you. It has been quite a while, a bunch of months we've been trying to figure this out, and then just schedules and sickness and kids, and yeah, we haven't had an opportunity, but here we are. We're going to make the most of it.
I know, right? Everything happens when it needs to. You know?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a big week. Big week this week.
Well, what's going on?
There's a holiday.
Which one?
And Dylan and I have kids, so it's pretty exciting for them.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you're kind of like Grinch about it, but everybody else.
About what?
Christmas, man.
Oh, is it Christmas?
Yeah. That's why you're off this week.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot.
The guy with that beard doesn't know it's Christmas?
I know.
Come on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I call bullshit, but it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
How's what's Christmas look like in your house, Dylan, with your
It's
kid?
good.
And
I've got a little guy. His name's Max. He's 8 years old, and so you can imagine it's just everything is based on Christmas and gifts and you know, what's the plan for food and where am I going where and just all that kind of stuff, right? But he loves all the Christmas movies and he's just a lot of questions still. A lot of questions. Still a believer in some things, which is good. I'm not sure what age that starts to come into question, but yeah, there's still magic happening at the age of 8, so it's exciting.
it is exciting. I love that. I have 3-year-old twins, and it's very magical right now.
Wow.
Really, what's going on? How does he fit in there? I'm like, well, Dog fits in there, so you know, your Uncle Dog knows. So. Yeah,
Fair.
Yeah, that never gets old.
and doesn't it?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all. Can we get away from Christmas? Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You're the one that is. Yeah.
So, Dylan, when did you figure that radio wasn't just your job, but it was the lane that you wanted to be in?
I mean, we're going to go back, I guess, to high school days, right? And I went to Vankley Kill Collegiate Institute. So Vankley Kill, a little town about an hour outside of Ottawa. And what happened was I was president of the student council. So one of the duties to be the president of the student council in grade 13 was that you read the morning announcements. And I'd read them every morning. And I imagine now if I ever heard like a tape of those, it would be horrific. But you know, people used to comment things like, you know, you got a great voice or personality or that kind of thing, right? And I just sort of went for it. I went to concurrent teacher education first at Trent University, and that wasn't for me. And then I went to Loyalist College in Belleville and graduated in 1999 and haven't really looked back.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's sort of like the origin story. I'm interested in that, of course. But when did like who pulled you towards media? Like, how did that happen? Other than people telling you sounded good, was there a voice out there that you listened to, or somebody that you looked up to?
Yeah, I mean, so a bunch of folks, like, it was kind of neat because growing up in Vankley Kill, like, you were in the middle of the Ottawa market and the Montreal market. So it was like you had the best of both worlds, like major market radio stations that you could listen to. And I used to listen to these announcers and I'm kind of good at like mimicking and impressions. And I used to think like, well, if I sound like them and they're there, well, then maybe that's what I need to do. So that was one of the things, like I practiced it. And even to this day, like I'll sit on my couch and I'll read commercials out loud and I'll just, I'm constantly practicing. But I guess it was a guy named Max Keeping who was the legendary CTV news anchor for 40 years. CJOH TV, and he mentored me when I was high school into college into like his final days. So he taught me to be a better broadcaster, better community-minded guy, and hence the name Max. That's our 8-year-old is named after Max.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Pretty
lucky.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty good community guy.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe the best in Ottawa history, really.
Yeah.
Well, I had the pleasure of working with him once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I DJ'd a show. We were raising money for a young lady who had Lyme disease, and the medications that you were getting for that, she had to get because they weren't covered by OHIP, and she needed a lot of money to deal with this. And Max was generous enough to be the MC of the show, and we had Maria Hawkins. Was that her name?
Yeah, blues lady.
Yeah, we had her. Yeah, and she was phenomenal. I was just in awe of the people that were doing this for this young lady. So I got to meet him, and he's a very, very outstanding. He was a very outstanding man.
Totally.
Yeah, it was
met him a few
incredible.
times, too.
I used to watch him do these things, and then I took it upon myself to try to do the same, because I mean, in the game of radio as well, right? I mean, not only do you need to be entertaining, and there's got to be some talent involved, but I think like if the true strength comes if you're good with people, and he was just out there all the time, and he was shaking hands and kissing babies, as the saying goes. And I don't think, like, even to this day, I mean, a lot of new people have come to the city since he's been off air for over 10 years, but like, he's just one of those names that is almost impossible to forget. And that was contributed to the work he did in the community. So I learned a lot. 90% of what I learned for my radio career came from Max.
That's cool. Yeah. Pretty good mentor. Yeah.
Yeah, not somebody.
He used to come in Lone Star all the time.
Yeah.
On baseline, because I used to work when I worked there.
Mhm.
It was,
Yeah.
When I was in my youth.
In your youth.
Yeah. But he was a great guy. He always come in. He lived right in those two towers that were right on Fisher, and he'd come in late, because he had just worked, and always tipped very well. Very kind guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Yeah. It's great.
What's something people always assume about you that's completely wrong?
Oh, that's a good question. My goodness, something that they assume about me that, well, a lot of people think I have like this massive like record collection or CD collection or something like that. And the honest truth is I don't have physical almost any. I've got some CDs. I'm not a collector. I'm not I don't like stuff. So a lot of people always ask me, oh, because you've been in radio for 27 years, you must have this massive collection. And the honest truth is I don't. That's the first thing that sort of comes to the top of my head. I mean, I do have a fine selection of Michael Bolton albums, because he is my hero. And so I have that. But at the same time, Guns N' Roses are my favorite band. So people can't figure that out about me. How I love Michael Bolton and I love Guns N' Roses, but I just think if music sounds good, it sounds good, and it doesn't matter what genre, right? So, but yeah, I don't have like this collection of autographs or like all these things or people that I've met throughout the years. I don't like saving stuff, so maybe that's one thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, no, it is a very good one, because you would think with radio, like, you just assume, right?
Yeah.
That most radio personalities are collectors of music, and that they would be a little bit more, like that. That's very honest. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say.
You're the biggest music collector in Ottawa.
Because it's the complete opposite for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He has a lot of physical copies. I have some vinyl, and I still have a couple books of CDs because of when I'm of that era where we used to play it in our car.
Yeah.
Unless I was listening to Dylan Black. But then if it's funny that it's very interesting,
No, it
because
is.
you would think
It's
that a disc jockey would always have.
You would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big believer on like the secret to moving on is traveling light, and I just like I don't like what's the word? Oh my goodness, minimalist. Like I have my thing, like I've got my couch and my TV and my bed and like all that kind of stuff. It's not like I have nothing in my condo, but it's just like I just don't like collecting stuff. And anytime anybody's ever given me something, I usually pay it forward. I find someone who might like it more than I will, and that's sort of part of my maybe living legacy, or when it's all said and done, that people will be like, oh, he gave me this, or he thought about me this time with this item, or that kind of thing. So I just don't like having a lot of stuff. If something comes in, something has to sort of go out. So that's just kind of the way I live, I guess.
It's a great way to live.
Yeah.
It's the art of regifting. The art of regifting.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. It's like living with less. Everybody, we can all live with less.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you don't have that much
He
stuff.
doesn't
You just
know.
you have a lot of.
I don't have that much stuff.
Well, no, but like considering you don't have a house full of stuff,
True.
you have a bachelor apartment full of stuff.
Exactly.
So it's not like you
Oh,
could
my goodness.
you could move pretty easily.
Yeah, if I didn't take anything with me.
Fair.
All right.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on about
Moving on about something
And
else.
that's fine.
Yeah. So you've been in media a long time. What's changed the most since you started?
Automation, I guess. So when I started, as mentioned, my first job was at CJTN in Trenton. It was a 1270 AM station. 1998, I began, and it was I was making minimum wage, and minimum wage at that time was $6.85 an hour, and it was hard to get up Sunday mornings to play the Scottish show on reel to reels, read death announcements, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's sort of unheard of now, where like we haven't spoken about it yet, but my job loss this past summer. I mean, the stations went automated. The voices that you hear on these stations are from other markets, and just through technology, it's good and it's bad because I was one of those voices before the job loss. I was recording shows in Kingston and Cornwall and Barrie. I'd record part of my show in Ottawa as well. It's exceptional that technology exists, but it's also a terrible thing. I was heard by thousands of people across Eastern Ontario, but then when they didn't need me because they knew other announcers could do it, that was a result of that change that I've seen over the past 27 years in radio, right? So these stations are doing way more or with less people, I guess you could say. Everybody in the buildings in radio now have like 2 or 3 jobs, perhaps, right? And the days are long. So, not saying it wasn't like that in the beginning too. When you're starting, you're doing a lot of jobs and you're wearing a lot of hats, but definitely automation is something it's good and bad. But that's probably the biggest thing that I've seen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is going to take a lot of things out of the.
Oh, it already has. It already has.
Yeah. Not just automation that leads into AI, of course, but it's like it's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's already.
Yeah, which I mean, like you said, it is good and bad in some ways, but it's also going to take away some authenticity. So, like what's harder in media, like staying relevant or staying authentic? You think?
I don't know. Staying relevant is pretty tough. I mean, so this is 6 months since the job loss, and my whole thing now is I try to keep the name alive, and thanks to good people like you, like getting me on these shows and podcasts, and I've been an ambassador for different charities over the last couple of months, and I was an ambassador for a fall attraction, a Halloween attraction in Bankley Hill, and social media allows me to keep the name alive, keep the face alive. Because if I was to just have gone off air and then sort of disappeared completely, it's hard to stay relevant. It's hard to stay in people's face. It's hard to stay name recognition, I guess, right? So that's very difficult. I try to stay authentic. I try to be the real me as often as I can. I think that's important. I think when you meet me in person, it's the same person you'll hear on air. I do some comedy now too, so I'm sort of like I get on stage, and sometimes that's like a little more of a character because I say a few words that I probably wouldn't have said on air before, but comedy and acting and the arts and all that, you are putting on a bit of a different persona. It's tough. It's tough to stay relevant in a world of everybody's a celebrity these days, and everybody's got a platform, and everybody's got an account, but you just keep doing what you do. If you love it, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I think
it's nice. I think
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. What's the wildest or funniest thing that's ever happened to you on air?
I mean, I've been on air when some pretty big news has broken, like celebrity deaths and stuff like that. So that's like not funny per se, but I mean, you go on air and there's a lot of behind the scenes things that happen as in life where, someone will pull their pants down while you're trying to talk, or not my pants, their pants.
Okay.
People do outlandish things like that to get a reaction out of you to see if you can break concentration. But, once again, I'd have to really think about that. But I've done a lot of things where like things are just like happening right in front of me, and you just sort of keep moving along and you act like everything's fine. And But I guess I've kind of been lucky. The thing about being on air, you know, you're in this studio as you guys are right now, and I am just at home. Like there's nobody around, right? It's just I've sort of been broadcasting to nobody for 27 years. And what I mean by that is like there's usually, unless I had a co-host or a special guest, but you're in a room by yourself. And there's really isn't much of a recipe or room for something crazy to happen, really. Unless you're on location, I've done Canada Days downtown and stuff like that. People scream and maybe swear, but nothing too crazy that stands out that would have been concerning. Let's say that I can
That's
think
funny.
of off the top of my head, anyway.
I like that he clarified.
Yes,
that
his
wasn't
pants. Yeah.
I mean, if you're alone in the room, you never know.
Well, maybe he doesn't wear pants.
I've
Yeah,
got
I mean,
pants on. Even though this is virtual, I put pants on, so you don't have to worry. Like I'm a pants on
We appreciate it.
virtual
Yeah,
kind of
so
guy.
do we.
Yeah. Dog doesn't have any socks on. But
I don't
that's
have
fine.
socks on, but
That's
I do
fair.
have pants on.
It's comfortable.
He's a barefoot guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of those. Yeah, but I think that's cool about this whole thing too. Is about the fact that I can interview in your house and I'm here, right? Or Dog and I are here. We can.
Yeah, I mean
at
that's
home.
definitely something that obviously changed over the pandemic, and it's one of the things that the good, if there is good that came from all of that. I mean, it seems to have stuck with us, the virtual stuff, and I think that frees people up, because I think when you two and I were speaking about this originally, you had a studio, correct? That and I was even asking you recently, like, do I go to the studio? Do I, but everything's online now, and it's good and it's bad because it's like we could have met each other and talked and shook hands and. But this way it's like you sort of log on, you do it, and you log out, and it's kind of done, right? But
yeah, we never talk to you again. So
yeah, and
That's
then
it.
I just disappear. You run into me at a giant tiger, and you're like, "Isn't that
Exactly.
that guy?" But
Yeah. Remember me? No,
Don't
sorry,
look,
man.
don't look that way.
Yeah. No.
there he is.
I would definitely be all over you. A dog might be like a little. I'm gonna leave that guy alone.
That's
I just don't like to bother people.
Yeah.
So
No, it's fine. No, but it's true. Like it's we originally when we started, we were using Staples Studio,
Yeah.
and had people come, and then eventually we sort of streamlined it a bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, so that I don't know. It's just this is a better platform that helps us create
But
more
you-
video. We also didn't have video back
no,
then too,
we
right?
didn't,
So
and I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's another
you
story.
you didn't buy in right away.
I didn't buy in right away, but I mean, I agree with Dylan on the whole. Like, I enjoyed being in the same room with people and chatting with them and stuff. It's a little different doing it this way, but it works a lot better for people who, we can't track down. They can't make it out here. We can't make it to them, sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of both, right? It's a little,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we meet you face to face, it's way more fun. Just kidding. It would have been fun either way, Dylan. So how are you enjoying doing stand up? I have a friend who does a lot of stand up, and his name's Casey Corbin. He's kind of does the tour of yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just interested. How are you finding that?
I mean, it's good. It's so I've been working at Yuck Yucks Comedy Club for over 10 years, I believe, and I'm my official title is the community events coordinator there, but I'm more of so basically what that entitles is I help charities create special nights. We raise money. I'm a seat filler. I mean, like I try to find people who like want a night out and could use a night out, and it's a win-win. We get people in front of the comedians, which is great because as entertainers, as you know, it's like it's difficult to do a show if there's nobody in the crowd, right? And some nights can be more of a challenge than others, depending on if there's a big sporting event or weather or that kind of stuff, right? To get people out and so I love that role. I love the fact like when it's one of my nights, I get a pile of people out and then I get a message after and people are thankful and grateful. Like that's always fills my heart. And so recently over the past summer, I've got on stage a bunch of times and now I've been hosting some shows and it's different. There's transferable skills, obviously, because I've done a lot of MC work, and I'm just let's say more natural at the microphone than just starting from scratch. But I mean, when you have 6-7 minutes to fill, like you've got to be entertaining, right? And more so than that, it's a comedy club, so you got to be funny. So some crazy stuff comes out of my mouth, and my shtick is usually life story stuff that's happened in my life. So like I'll talk about my son and I'll talk about college days or just radio in particular, or that kind of stuff, right? But it's been good. I mean, I don't see myself doing this full time. I don't think it's because it's my understanding as well that it's a very difficult career. Not only for it to be lucrative, but just to be on the road and then constant performing and constant criticism, perhaps. But every now and then, doing 5 or 6 minutes here and there is okay with me for now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to be up there and like you're trying to be funny and you think you're being funny, but people are going, he's not very funny.
Yeah.
Comedians bomb, man.
Yeah, I know. I know that. Like we've been up on stage and said things and we kind of went,
Yeah, crickets. Yeah.
It's hard.
Anybody
Though.
there?
It depends on the crowd, right? Some nights I'll use, as you know, comedians will use the same jokes, and that's part of their set, right? And some nights I'm on fire, like people are loving it, and other nights it's slow, and you wonder what the difference is. And I think sometimes it's mindset. If you go up there not feeling as good as nights before, like you notice it, and I think the crowd notices it and they feel it. So it just depends, but yeah, it's some comedians are up there, 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing that. 5 minutes is fine.
I think 5 minutes is 5 minutes too much.
Yeah, for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's so funny, but he just doesn't. You know what I mean? Like he's great on the mic, but he doesn't like believe he is. If you know what I mean. Like he doesn't have the. He'll do it because I make him, but then
there's that.
And then when he's up there, he's great.
Yeah,
so it's good. I'm pushing you in the right direction, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
You've been around a ton of musicians. Who surprised you the most?
Surprise me. Wow.
In any way, whatever you
everybody that I've interviewed has been great with me, and I get it, right? Like they're there to be interviewed, they're there to be promoted. They're not going to, be terrible with me, because then what's the point of them even agreeing to it? I've been lucky enough to interview some pretty big names throughout the years, and like I'll always be appreciative of that. I think actually it's not a musician, but it's going back to comedy. It's a comedian who's probably been the most surprising to me, and it was John Cleese from Monty Python fame.
Monty Python, yeah.
It was incredible. I had an opportunity to spend an evening with John Cleese at the National Arts Center, and he did his one-man show and one-person show, and at the end, I interviewed him in front of a sold-out crowd at Southern Hall for 45 minutes. And he gave me some of the best advice that I ever received. And he said to me, Dylan, don't worry what you ask me out there. Nobody's going to remember this anyway. And it was kind of like, you'll remember the evening. You'll remember John Cleese. You'll remember if something terrible is said. You'll remember those things. But I just think if it's just, just a nice interview, casual, people don't walk away remembering every word. He was just so nice. He was so inviting. He was so for this massive celebrity. Like he put me at ease before, and that's just what I've learned that throughout the years as well. Like they're just people. They're people that are just as full of anxiety and nerves and depression as we all are, right? And they're there to perform and they're there to entertain, and they want to get through it successfully. And if you're there with them, they want you to be a part of it. So I've been lucky.
That's great advice.
I've been lucky. People have been really good with me throughout the years, and I can't really think of anybody who's been terrible. And even if there's a couple that come to mind that were difficult, but I'd rather maybe not say their names. But
No, we're not.
We're not going to pry. We're not going to pry.
We're not Geraldo or Donahue here. We don't want to know names.
Who are those guys?
Right.
Who's Geraldo and Donahue?
Just a couple friends of mine.
I remember them.
I know Geraldo.
Yeah. Duck.
The chair.
Yeah. What song instantly takes you back to a moment in time?
Oh boy. So I can even say, I recently had hernia surgery, and I've had 2 this year, which has been a lot of fun, 2 different hernias. And I think I mentioned that I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. And the surgeon started playing Appetite for Destruction as soon as I was being wheeled into the surgery room. And it's like, as soon as you hear that opening to to Welcome to the Jungle, right? It's like it just takes you back. It's this legendary rock anthem that, like I remember being a kid and I was 10 years old when that album came out, and it's been 40 years ish, right? And that'll take me right back. All those. I'm a huge rock fan, so like Motley Crue and The Cult all those albums from the 80s will definitely take me back. But then, as I said, I'm also a soft rock guy, so I'm a huge Gino Vanelli fan. I'm a huge Rock Voisin fan. Michael Bolton, and beautifully, I've had a chance to meet all of them. And so if I hear these songs, like it'll just take me to a place that, it's good and it's bad though, right? Like it takes you places and you kind of miss those places. But the part I find about music that's fascinating is everything has changed. We all look different. People have passed away, but that song is exactly the same as you heard it like 30, 40 years ago. Like nothing's changed. The chord hasn't changed. The vocals haven't changed. And that's kind of fascinating. It's like every time you hear a song, it's like a time capsule, really. And all those songs take me back. I don't find today's music, like I guess that's an old person thing, right? But it's hard for me to get into what's happening today. There's the odd song, right? It's really got to be outstanding too. I just find everything's been done. Nothing's unique. Everything is fake sounding. The artists are just way more ego and looks than talent. Not to say Michael Bolton wasn't extremely handsome back in the day. I'm just saying, I mean, we can all agree. We can all agree
Great
on
hair.
that. Yeah,
Great
but,
hair. Yeah, great hair.
but I'm just saying, it's just I can't do it. And I think maybe sometimes it's because I'm in radio or was in radio so long that I see the other side of it. So it's hard for me to enjoy things as much. But
yeah, there's not many. I mean, I don't like a lot of it either. I can say I like Chris Stapleton. I mean, that's the guy that has that old school voice that if you put him in the 70s or 80s or 90s and you listen to that voice, that voice transcends, I think. So, but I agree. There's a lot of things that I don't really connect with.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing a show now based out of my school. I've got the kids picking songs for playlists. We're putting together a show for Saturday mornings. And I'm listening to, and I agree with you 100%. I'm listening to this stuff, and I'm like
6, 7.
And I'm just like, what is this, and what is this K-pop crap that we're beginning? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
K-pop,
because the kids love it, and I'm just like, yeah, this is really great. Keep going with this stuff, and we'll just kind of
yeah.
But so your parents didn't like. No,
we won't even go down that route.
I don't know,
But it's funny. But now, I think my mom especially, she was a huge fan of Guns N' Roses, and I remember us dancing around.
That's cool.
We were dancing around to the Firewoman video by the Cult. Like that's one of my memories, right?
Great song.
She loved that.
I love the Cult.
A huge fan of country and Dwight Yoakam and Alan Jackson, and it's just like massive stars. And I know these musicians now are obviously massive stars as well in their own right, but it's a whole different world, and it's a world now of one-hit wonders, and they just sort of disappear. You'll know the song. I mean, there's the exception obviously with Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, a few country stars that you mentioned, but it's like, maybe the song, but you couldn't even tell you what the artist's name is. And I think if you think about music from the 80s and 90s, like you'll know the artist's name. And I don't know if that's just because we're of the same age and that's just who we are, but they were more stars. They were more, like I said, a young person could be watching this and just saying, who's this old guy? He doesn't know what he's talking about, right?
No. But I think, you know what it is? It's people went to somewhere and bought albums and like had to stand in line for Appetite or, Use Your Illusion or, like Michael Bolton. I mean, I didn't stand in line for, but you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
people
went to, like, somebody was bringing that up. I was listening to a podcast recently and you talk about Michael Jackson. They were like, Michael Jackson, if he was like back then, 1 million people a week bought his album.
Yeah.
1 million people a week.
Wow.
So now you get these streams because streams are easy. So people don't, what I mean? I think that's what it is. I think it's simpler to be more famous because it's easier to consume the music. I think that it goes with the other. Whereas back then you had Prince, Michael Jackson, Michael Bolton, all these guys,
Yeah.
they had to sell an album.
Yeah.
So it had to be good,
Yeah.
or else nobody would buy it,
Yeah.
and then they wouldn't make any money, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, in my opinion.
It's a big part of it, I think. Yeah.
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 It's just easier to consume now,
And
like everything else,
you
right?
know full albums, like you'd know all the album cuts, you'd know the B-sides, you'd know all that. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't exist either, right? So like I could tell you some
No.
of like my favorite artists' albums from like the first cut to the 10th. Like I know all the ones, and that doesn't, now they just release like singles. So they release you know, and plus they're famous because TikTok exists and Twitter or X or you know, like they just get famous. Like I you know, you see sometimes when say somebody from TikTok or YouTube or whatever passes away, you'll see like a online like TikTok star passes away or YouTube star passes away, and you know, like with all due respect to them, that's obviously terrible, but it's just like I don't consider that a star. I don't consider that, like, it's just it's just a different world of where you become famous now. You know, like you're not famous for being a movie actor
Talented.
or a musician or you're famous for doing like things that you probably shouldn't be doing, perhaps. Just crazy outlandish stuff online, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Being a video game player, like those guys make millions of dollars. Millions. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They just like go on whatever Twitch and then like
Yeah, I don't get it.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, the YouTubers.
So yeah,
That's right, exactly.
It's insane.
But, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Like we could go into somebody we could talk about right now, but we're not going to. What does Max think about Dad? Does he know that Dad was you know, a radio guy for 20 plus years? Does he know what Dad used to do? Or
He's becoming more and more aware of what I did and what I do. And first of all, is there like right now there's like a snowblower beside my house. Can you hear that?
A little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're hoping that he moves along anytime now. He's just like positioned there. Okay, I apologize. I'm in this condo. And they're trying to keep the pathways nice, right? But
Yeah.
Max, in the last year, he came into Boom and he did a few little movie reviews with me. He'd seen the new Beetlejuice. He saw the new Despicable Me movie. He came in and that was entertaining. And he'd recognize when I was on commercials, we'd be in the car and he would hear me. He's been to Yuck Yucks, but not during a show. Like he's come in and he's looked at the stage and he went on the stage and all of that. He's quite an entertainer himself because, like I said, half the stuff I say on air or on stage are things that he says in real life, and it's just like, and some of it's just wildly inappropriate. And I'll say like, please, Daddy thinks that's okay, but don't say that in front of a stranger or a teacher. Say it in front of Mommy. That's fine. You know, so I'll get a text later, perhaps, if she's upset with that. But it's just like I want him to be himself. I want him to be, you know. I never want to tell him don't do this, don't do that, unless it's completely, you know, not appropriate. But yeah, he knows, and I'm glad that he, you know, he had a chance in case I don't continue with the radio career or that he saw that. I'm glad he saw that, and we took pictures and videos, and so he'll always have that, and he'll know about like my legacy or what I did.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who's an artist or sound that you think deserves way more attention right now? I know we talked a little bit about how it's sort of messy, but
new music.
Who do you think is? Yeah, I know. I did want to ask,
It's
but I have to ask
difficult.
now.
It is difficult. I mean, I'd love to see a lot more local and independent, you know, artists get their due, and I've managed to see a lot of. It's like I said, I don't really want to say too many names, especially if I'm saying local and independent, and then they're like, "Well, why didn't you mention me, man?" But just in general, like I think if you know, you see the people who are famous, and you kind of wonder why when there's so much talent out there, and I think that like some people just luck out, and it's funny because back to Max Keeping, I remember I used to say things to him like, "Oh, I was lucky," or "I was this and that," and he said to me, "If it was your intention to do what you did, it wasn't luck, it was skill." And I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. So, but in that regard, like, I just think there's so many people that I've seen play small venues, small crowds, and they could have been Taylor Swift, or they could have been, you know, like a big artist, they could, and I think it's just a matter of like the right place at the right time for some people, right? And um, so I guess that's why people just continue to sort of continue to do it, and they do those shows, and they hope that maybe one day they'll be spotted or noticed. But there's a lot of people that could easily be in the shoes of the big artists right now, and for some reason they're not.
Even in Ottawa, I mean, we have wild amounts of talent. I mean, just doing this show, right? We've interviewed some artists and then see them play, and you're like, these guys are awesome.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Well, it's just the same mindset. Right? It's like, why are they playing to like 20 to 100 people when they could be playing like, TD Place? They could be playing like, some of these people are just so amazingly talented that you say they're looking for that break.
Mhm.
And, anything we can do to push that, the talk and push the people to get out to watch the shows. And maybe that one person puts up that one video that somebody else sees. I mean, it could all just be that. I mean, who knows?
Very true.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's a good point, and that's why we talk about it, so that it gets out there more.
Yeah, and I believe in that too. Like I'm a huge believer in people ask me to share stuff and post stuff, and when I was doing radio, like mention this or mention that. When I was hosting Daytime Ottawa on Rogers TV, it was always a pleasure to have different. I met so many people once again, right? There's a guy named Martin Kerr who's out of Calgary, and he gave me his album, and it was like the best album, one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life. And now like we're friends, and I'm sure you're familiar with Rebecca Noel, and she's with the Commitments, and is it the Commitments? Is that did I?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Please forgive me.
It's the Commotions.
The Commotions.
Oh my God, the guys from the Commotions are going to kill me. But it's like I don't think I've ever heard a female voice that good in my life, and I've said that to her without being the guy that's like sliding into her DMs, like I really like your voice. Like it's just but I'm so like it takes a lot for me to say that to somebody and truly mean it. But why is she not world famous? Why is she not? I saw her do a show at Centerpoint Theater here with the band, and you see these talents, and you're like, why aren't they at the level of Ed Sheeran or whoever, right? And Ariana Grande, but maybe one day, right? And we can say that we knew them when, perhaps.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with that one.
Yeah, Rebecca's unreal. We had her on early on in our show, and just like blew us away. First of all, as a person, and then of course her art, and then she did that back. She has a backward voice. Like she's so good vocally. Like she could just do. She did like this backward voice. Just tripped us both right up.
Yeah. Super
but
nice person. Nice person, talented. But there's a lot of people like that, and in this city, and it's just, so it's fun to go out and check out the bands or the people that you perhaps haven't heard of before, and you become instant fans, and I think that's a really cool thing to do.
Agreed. Yeah, support local music.
It's fun too because we've noticed a few more venues popping up as well, because we lost a couple, now we gained a couple, so it's nice to have that backing and to have the option to go and miss a show because you're going somewhere else to see another show.
Yeah.
Like before it was, you know what I mean? It's hard because you're like, oh, I really want to go see so-and-so, but so-and-so is playing. And then, then you have to kind of do the juggling act to see who gets to be seen, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a good, bad situation to have.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Totally. Okay. So you just robbed a bank, and you're driving your car.
Yeah.
What song's playing when you're driving away?
Oh, Hurts to Be in Love by Gino Vanelli. Are you familiar?
Good choice.
That was very quick.
Well, Gino Vanelli. So I have a family member who his favorite artist is Gino Vanelli of all time,
and
I used to make fun of him
Yeah.
for it because I didn't know the music, and then he played me Black Cars, and I fell in love with the guy.
So Black Cars, and you go back to the 70s with People Gotta Move, and then Wild Horses, and I Just Want to Stop. And so I interviewed him face to face, and it was one of the highlights of my career. And he's a top 5 artist for me. But my favorite song of all time is Hurts to Be in Love by Gino Vanelli. And I don't know if that would be like my drive away from like rob a bank song, but definitely some of the bands that I've mentioned before would come to mind. Dr. Feelgood, or like something like that. It's just like, how could you not, right? Like it's just amazing stuff, right? It's like anything Guns N' Roses, anything. Like I see people tear apart Axl online all the time for his vocal abilities now, and it's just sort of like, just be happy he's still alive, okay? Like, I don't care if he's
Yeah.
terrible. He's still alive. He's still in front of us. It's like when Star
Yeah.
Wars puts out a new movie. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and then you see everybody crap all over it. It's kind of like, can we just be happy that they created it? Stop complaining.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a very good point.
It amuses me when the expectations of somebody who's been singing for 40 plus years and well, it doesn't sound like you did before.
Yeah.
Really? Do you sound like you did before 40 years ago?
Yeah,
No, you
exactly.
don't. Your voice changes.
Did you smoke a lot and do heroin?
Yeah,
and
well, I
fucking
mean, did you live the lifestyle the man
drink
lived?
every?
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
like,
Well,
holy cow.
People like to complain.
I have a very interesting imagination, and when he said that song, I pictured like in a movie that it would be so funny that if that was the song that played when you were driving away after robbing a bank, it's like just like a perfect.
First to
Well,
be in love?
because all the chaos that's going on,
Yeah.
right? All the chaos that's going
It's
on.
such a
and
calming song, and
There-
like someone's driving away out of chaos.
Well,
there's,
you know, but the
there's,
thing
there's
is,
Dylan in the car. Just
the thing is, it's not very common if you listen to the words, and it's all
Yeah.
about a man who is in love with a woman, but she's half there. So it's like it's difficult because one of the lyrics is more and more your kiss feels like a half open door, and it's just like he's hurting. So if other people, maybe one thing that people don't know me or do know me, I'm a huge romantic. Like I'm a huge like hence the the soft rock. But so like to me like Kenny G, Yanni, like here's other names I'm throwing at you, right? Like they can do no wrongs. It's just like if I hear one of those songs, it just like evoke emotions. Like I'm just in love with the song. So that's just sort of the way I am. I'm a romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I've been like that since I've been a child. And yeah, so that's maybe even a little more than you asked for there. But
no, it's great.
yeah,
This is your time. This is your time.
awesome. Thank you.
that was too much.
Oh yeah.
It could
No,
have been too
I'm just
much.
teasing, man. No, I'm kind of the
beautiful
same
thing.
way when it comes to country music. I kind of draw towards ballads over
Yeah, you're romantic.
the more upbeat stuff
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. So I kind of
90s,
You're
a big
90s
romantic.
country, 90s country for me can't be beat. Like Vince Gill and
Whoa.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's his favorite.
90s
That's his
country.
favorite.
So it's
Yeah.
just
well,
like
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Vince Gill.
Vince Gill, yeah. all
Who's
those
the
guys.
other one you love?
Really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gary Allen.
Gary Allen,
Gary Allen, yeah, he's
Canadian,
amazing.
right?
Nope.
Oh, he's
No,
not
he's from he's from the West Coast.
Okay,
He's from California.
okay. So I'm probably familiar, but it's like
You would know some of his stuff if I like. It's
positive
his
I
big
would.
song is "Right Where I Need to Be" is one of his biggest songs.
okay.
But he's got a song that called every oh, now I'm gonna forget it. Hold on, let me just read my wrist.
Is it on your wrist?
Yeah, I have it tattooed on me.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I can't remember it right now. Everything runs out of rain. Every song. Anyway,
Every sun runs out of rain?
Google
Yeah.
that later because I want to know because I'm a huge like Trace Atkins and David Ball is another guy and the Dwight Yoakam
Yep.
songs.
Yeah.
Ain't That Lonely Yet,
Dwight's best.
1,000 Miles from Nowhere and yeah, like
Love
if I
Dwight.
hear certain there's another guy, Doug Stone was another guy who has a song called
oh, Doug Stone.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I Forget is a song that and it's just like it just rips my heart right out of my chest and for some reason like you kind of want that pain sometimes, which sounds terrible. But like I've been going through some the last couple of years and it's just you pull up these country songs and I'm a huge Richard Marx fan too, not country, but I'm just thinking like along the lines of like ballads
Yeah.
and he's got a few just hurting songs.
Right Here Waiting.
So, pardon me, Right Here Waiting, yeah.
Right Here Waiting
Obviously,
is-
yeah. And
that's my favorite. Yeah,
great.
that's
tune.
my favorite Richard Marx.
But a good ballad,
Yeah.
it's just like
But
it's
Gary,
just- yeah.
Yeah, if you look up Gary Allen, there's a few songs like "Life Ain't Always Beautiful." You'd love that one.
Yeah.
There's a song called "The One." Like he's got a lot of songs that talk about relationships and stuff, and it's just, yeah, he's incredible. And his voice is just—it's just one of those voices that's just like a.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's been gargling bourbon and rocks, and it's just the gravelness in his
I
voice. Right?
definitely
It's just
know
like,
the name. I know the name. It just for some
Yeah.
reason it didn't stand out as much as the others, but for sure I'm going to search him after this. I promise.
Mhm. Um, I'll let you guys to catch up later. I'll
Yeah,
just jump
sure.
in after.
Yeah.
So
I know, right?
what's something experience taught you that no mentor ever could?
Experience. Nothing stays the same. Nothing. Everything's temporary. Everything. I've learned that I just like you could have told me that. Like I try to mentor people. It doesn't matter like what walk of life, if they're in radio, if they're just young people my age, and it's like you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. I think experience is the only way you're going to learn the lesson. Like sometimes people can tell you like don't do that. But the more you tell somebody not to, they do it until they feel the pain and then they don't do it again. But everything's temporary. This interview is temporary. This evening is temporary. This holiday week is temporary. The way you feel about, like I've had the 2 surgeries this year, and I knew going into them, this is temporary, and that's kind of like a good thing. It's a good thing because you'll get through it, right? And like I know right now with the job loss and the job search, and it's temporary. Something will happen. Something will come up. So it kind of gets me through life a little bit easier. And I wouldn't have never thought that way when I was 20. But you lose people.
Mhm.
I've lost my parents. I've lost and it's just, and here I am approaching 50 myself, right? And it's just like, man, I need to make the next 20, 25 years count. So what I'm going through right now is temporary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true.
Yeah. Temporary.
Yeah, it's all temporary, right? It's not going to last unless you make it last.
Yeah.
Like if you keep it in your head and it keeps sitting there and keeps sitting there, then you're just going to keep reliving it.
Yeah.
And it's not good for you healthy wise at all.
No, not at all.
So what are some habits or routines that keep you grounded?
I try to run every day. No matter what the weather, I try to get out there. It was like I keep going back to the surgery, but it was difficult a couple times this year because, as you know, after surgery, like you have to wait like maybe up to a couple months to not run. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone running the past couple days because I've had extra commitments with my son, and so it's more difficult to get out there. But if I run half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, like it'll change everything. That's one of my big things that I have to do every day. Just mentally, physically, you feel better in your clothes. You feel better just in your body. You just feel better all around, right? And that's one of the things that I do. One of my other habits is I try to make a special occasion for somebody every day. I try to do something nice that will be perhaps remembered or paid forward or something like that. I think that's important, especially now that I have an 8-year-old. I like him to see me do that. So today, like it was like Christmas cards or just I have him sign the cards like he's at a book signing. I keep like putting one after another in front of him, and he's signing them and make him feel special. And it takes like 5 minutes to an hour some days just to do something nice for somebody. And that was one of the big things that I got to do with radio is I got to like mention people on the radio, that I'd find the clip and then I'd send it to them, and I'd hope that they always had that as a souvenir. And those are two of the big things that I try to do every day. And quite honestly, the being, the volunteer work, the being nice to people, it's kind of a selfish act too, because it makes you feel good. Anytime I'm feeling down, I try to like reach out to people and do something that I feel is a nice gesture, and it makes me feel better. So I think that's important. And I think if more people did that, then maybe we wouldn't be in such a position that we're in these days, which is pretty terrible sometimes, right? So some days.
Totally. I mean, I think that small gestures do many big things.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
huge.
that's great.
Yeah.
I love the signing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you think your kid made you softer, more sensitive?
Oh, yeah.
More
No,
more gentle.
I cry all the time. I know that sounds like I
didn't
cry all
mean
the
it-
time.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I'm a mess. Everything about him. I used to be. I've been on like a number of Chio telethons, and I used to just do the telethon and just go through the motions, and I was more concerned about like I was happy to be there, honored, but I was more concerned about like doing a good job, sounding intelligent, and all those things are still quite important to me. But now. Like we did through Boom, we did radiothons for the Ronald McDonald House, and I had trouble getting through the interviews because it was just all of a sudden you put yourself in that parent's position, and you're, you know, he is my absolute life. And you know, like I'll just tell you, like he came around, I made a will, and everything's for him. Like it's just nothing else matters. You know, so even with the job loss, right? It's like I'll be fine, but I need him to be fine. I need him, like, you know, you get a package, you get a severance. I'm more concerned about like him when that runs out, and me with my opportunities, and how will we pay for his dentist, and how will we pay for this, and how will we pay for that? You know, like that's all I think about. All I think about is his well-being. And I think being a parent, that changes you, and makes you, turns most people into that person, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally different than I was before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing, especially my little girls, man. My little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I just always like to ask that, but it seems like that's where it was going anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's lovely stuff.
Thank
If you had one day to show somebody the real Ottawa, where would you take them?
The real
Great
Ottawa.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Now, I say this only because I'm in the area, but I love Centerpoint. I love Centerpoint area. I love the theater there. I love, it's just so like classy and clean, and the fountain outside. But you know, quite honestly, when I think of Ottawa, and I think of how lucky we are to be in the nation's capital, and I think of how government is here, and you know, like or hate or this or whatever, like the position of prime minister, like our prime minister works in our city. Like it's kind of the history, the Parliament Hill, like it's there. Like it's kind of cool. Like everybody, the people that you think of, like the famous like politicians and celebrities who've come through and visited that area. Like I think any trip to Ottawa needs to have a visit to Parliament Hill. I think that's but I mean, you know, Byward Market obviously, but it's such a big city now, and like it's big to the point that if someone asks me to do something in Orleans, like I have to think about it. I'm like, because it just takes forever to get there, right? Like everything is so big.
I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out.
Like
New Orleans.
it's just like it's on the other side, and guaranteed the Queensway will be down to one lane, because that's just the way it seems to work. But it's like you think about Manotick, you think about Canada, Stittsville, like it's just such a gigantic city. But definitely Parliament Hill to me is Ottawa. That is just like Canada Day broadcasts from across the country from Parliament Hill. And I think we're so lucky and blessed I could get in my car and be there in 20 minutes. Like that's really cool. Where people in Vancouver or Nova Scotia you'd have to get on a plane. I think we're blessed to be so close to Parliament Hill, in my opinion.
It's a cool, it's very cool. I
Yeah.
have great memories of watching fireworks there, and like lots of great memories. Seeing the lights right now is amazing. So it's a good point.
Yeah.
And Centerpoint, do they still have where you can skate? You can
Yeah.
still skate down there?
Yeah, there's a little
nice.
and in the summer they have like it's like a fountain, and sometimes my son will walk in the fountain. I'm like, this is probably not allowed, but whatever. It's 40 degrees out. But like, you know, the Canada Geese land there, and it's just a beautiful. You know, and I live just off Centerpoint Park, so it's like, and it's just this gigantic park with a duck pond and kids' play structures. And I always tell people this is my backyard, because it technically, like, there's a little route that just path, as you heard with the cleaner, the snowblower. Like I always tell people that this is my backyard, you know, trying to make it look like bigger than what I actually own, right? But I just love Centerpoint. I always make a joke that my celebration of life. So Max Keeping's celebration of life was at Canadian Tire Center. And that was because of the person he was, you know, and I remember it fell in a snowstorm, so it wasn't as attended as it probably could have been. But I'm like, okay, so how can I affect like as many people's lives that my celebration of life will at least be at Centerpoint? You know, can we have it at Centerpoint? Like that's not like a big, like it's manageable, right? And I just think it's a beautiful venue, and I love that you don't have to pay to park. That's huge.
Seen
for
a
me.
few shows there.
Yeah.
Centerpoint is underrated for sure. Underrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I've seen a few shows there.
Hugely underrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan, we ask a question of everybody.
Yep.
It's just for our own egos, actually.
Okay.
So, Well, not mine, because
No, just for yours.
You're gonna win this one.
I know I'm going to kick your ass this time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
No pressure.
so 2 decades of music.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, 80s or 90s?
90s.
Oh.
What?
I'm shocked. I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna say 80s.
Yeah, me too.
90s to me, I don't know what it is. It just like every song speaks to me. I the big hits and then the non-hits even. I think it's just more because 90s for me was like I graduated elementary school, I graduated high school, and I graduated college. And it's just like I was becoming a man. I was becoming like an adult. So 90s to me is like I was 13 to whatever, like 10 years later, like 23, 22. Those songs, I don't know. I'm a huge 80s fan, but I'm telling you, if a song comes on from the 90s, like I could list off a pile of them, and it's just like that's my jam. Like I'll crank it. Like I'll just 90s to me. And I know that's not a popular opinion sometimes because people will sometimes tell you the 90s were one of the worst decades, but yeah, far and above. Even like I was
90s is
saying,
the best
90s
decade.
country, right? Like nothing will beat 90s
Yeah.
country to me. Nothing will beat
Grunge,
That's what
90s hip
Stop
hop,
it. Stop it.
90s hip hop,
No,
90s
stop.
grunge, 90s country,
Stop.
90s pop, 90s R&B.
90s pop was crap.
I don't know, man.
It
Listen,
depends- I mean, it
listen,
depends
Mary
who you
Mary
ask,
J.
right?
Blige. Mary J.
Yeah.
Blige.
She's not pop.
She's R&B.
That's right, but she's not pop.
So you'll hate
All
this,
right,
dog,
fine.
but when I think of 90s pop, I think of the Backstreet Boys. I think of like, and I happen to love that. But like songs like
Britney,
Jennifer Page Crush, or like
Yes.
I'm trying to think of these songs because I was on Cool FM here in Ottawa in 1999, and it was just like, you know, it was just to me fascinating. These songs, Meatloaf when he came out with Bad Outta Hell 2, that's one of my favorite albums from the 90s, right? And yeah. But
In
yeah,
the face,
the grunge, Nirvana,
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
It's always been this way against me. It's fine.
Sorry, what's
I
yours?
remain-
What's
He's
yours?
80s. He's totally 80s.
I love
80s
80s
for
though,
sure.
so don't get me wrong, love 80s.
So do I.
So
but
to me,
just
it's like
fun for us
90s,
to-
80s, 90s, 80s, and 70s is a distant third. I'm not a big
Yeah.
70s fan. But that's what I can tell you about the music today. If
All right.
not a huge fan.
Got my butt kicked again.
I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it either. It's kind of
Maybe some rapid fire, then we'll.
yeah. Let's do a little bit.
Okay.
Of that. All right. So Dylan, morning show or late night drive?
Late night, afternoon drive to me is my dream, and I was lucky to have that at Boom.
All right. Vinyl or streaming?
Vinyl, but neither. Because I don't like things, and I'm a bit of a technology phobe. So
Go to yeah, fair. Go to comfort food.
pizza or spaghetti.
Nice.
Yeah.
Song you'll never skip.
Song I'll never skip. So oh my gosh, because I already said Gino Vanelli. So probably Firewoman, The Cult. Like I said, special memory with my mom. Every time I hear it come on, yeah, I hear it come on, and I think of her. Like right away, I'll say her name out loud because I'll feel like she's played it for me if it's on the radio or something.
That's a great memory.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Great song too.
Yeah, it's a very good song.
yeah,
80s song, isn't it?
from me.
Dawg Gus, Dawg Gus, Dawg Gus.